NBC27 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Well, good morning, everybody. We certainly have a lot to talk about, don't we, in the wake of last night's severe weather and more coming today. It was quite a severe weather day across the mid-state yesterday. I had mentioned on the morning news, Daybreak yesterday, that I was not all that concerned about wind damage yesterday. I was more concerned about heavy rain. Well, Carlisle did have some wind damage, and it was pretty significant, but it was isolated. The heavy rain, though, that threat played out across portions of the mid-state, especially east of the Susquehanna River. So this is going to be a long broadcast for us here because I wanted to take the time today to, especially for those of you that are really interested in the weather, to go through exactly what happened yesterday, what we think will happen today. And then, of course, as we always do, we like to look ahead to see what's going to happen here down the road as we move into the 4th of July and beyond. The weather is a never-ending adventure here across central Pennsylvania. Just 2 months ago, we were talking about a rather significant drought that played out over the last 2 years, and now all of a sudden, every day bringing flash flooding as we have more than enough rain to go around. So first, a recap of what happened yesterday, and then we will talk about what we expect to happen today, because unfortunately, it does look like a repeat, potentially, of yesterday. And then we are going to talk about July 4th and beyond. So buckle up. This is not going to be a quick one-and-done type of broadcast here. We're going to delve into some things, and we're going to start by doing that with the radar. And then I'm going to play a clip for all of you from our show this morning, just so you can see exactly what it was like at ground level. But let's get started here. This is a live view of the radar. There actually are some showers around this morning. It's foggy in spots. It's so humid. The storms yesterday brought no relief. I mean, it's humid, it's murky, and it just feels stanky out there, for lack of a better word. And I don't think that's going to be going anywhere here, as we can see on the Doppler radar. Over the last day, watch the rounds play out over northern Lancaster County. There's 1, 2, there's 3, here comes 4, 5, 6. So it's really incredible that especially northern Lancaster and southern Lebanon counties, which saw the worst of this, it was just round after round after round. This is what the radar looked like yesterday. Pretty impressive stuff. That continued even after sunset. It continued into the first part of the overnight. So here's what the rainfall looked like across the region. Let me put this full screen for you so that you can get a sense of it. I mean, the western part of the area got whiffed, essentially. Well, areas along the Susquehanna and east saw the brunt of this. The average accumulation for the region was over an inch, but it was really slanted toward the eastern half. I mean, the west really saw nothing. It was areas right in here that got the brunt of this. So, again, it was highly localized, and we can even zoom in and get more localized because look at these areas here. South and east of Harrisburg, parts of York County, southern Lebanon, northern Lancaster County. Just in this box alone, the average accumulation was over 3 inches of rain. And by the way, let me point out this region here. Notice parts of northern Lancaster County near Manheim saw 6 inches of rain yesterday, which is very, very, very impressive. And that's what triggered a flash flood emergency, which we'll talk about coming up too, a rare issuance by the National Weather Service. So just incredible stuff yesterday. And we talk about the Storm Prediction Center reports, a lot of flash flooding reports yesterday, but we did have some wind damage. It was isolated. It was in Carlisle, but after 5 o'clock, a lot of trees down. There were reports yesterday I got from a friend in Carlisle that power lines were down on some of the main roads, and a tree fell on a house on Courtside Drive slightly north of Carlisle yesterday as well. Somebody sent me a Facebook picture of their roof partially blown off. So the winds isolated yesterday. Certainly, that may be hard to believe if you were affected in Carlisle, but the flash flooding was the main risk, and that is going to be the risk again later today. Here is Lancaster as they continue to dry out. We were in Manheim this morning, and I wanted to take this opportunity now before we head into the rest of the forecast, just to play for you part of our live broadcast this morning. Kayla Schmidt was in Manheim so that you can see what it was actually like. Check this out.
County. This is video from one of our photojournalists in East Petersburg. You can see the downpour and you can see the lightning there. This is video of Carlisle sent to us by a viewer. You can see cars got stuck in the high water. And more video from Carlisle, the aftermath of that heavy rain. You can see cars making their way through waters that covered West Willow Street. And check out these photos from a viewer in Carlisle. This is aftermath of a downpour there. You can see a lot of tree limbs came down, some of them right on top of that car. While many parts of the Midstate are still dealing with the aftermath of those storms, especially in Lancaster County. That is where we find our Kayla Schmidt. She is live in Manheim Borough with more. Good morning, Kayla.
Yes, good morning to you, Allie. Now that the sun has risen, we've been able to come up to that intersection on South Main and Stiegel here in Manheim Borough, but take a look at Stiegel Street. Now, we have cars still just trying to get through, and trucks get through these roadways, which you are not supposed to do. Officials are saying turn around, don't drown. They actually have barricades up now. Some cars are actually passing through that. This is serious flooding. As you can see, this is Stiegel Street. Now, with the naked eye, you cannot even see where that flooding ends. It looks like homes are nearly flooded, people stuck inside of their homes. I mean, earlier this morning when we first got here, we couldn't even get to this intersection. We'll show some video of that now. Cars getting stuck in the water. We did see one potential water rescue along with a lot of other vehicles just trying to get through, getting stuck and turning around. A lot of people now waking up this morning. We did actually run into a resident that was driving through the storms last night. He said he could barely even find a way home. So many roads were closed off. Here's what he had to say this morning.
So I was basically coming home from work, and I was trying to get home any way I could. I tried going back down that way, couldn't. It was all flooded. I tried to go maybe through Littis. Everything was flooded up that way. I tried going back up through where my grandparents live at. That was all flooded. Covered bridge was all flooded. So I basically just had to park my car there at the Dollar General and then just walk through thigh-high water just to get home here.
Allie, South says that he hasn't seen this much rain since Hurricane Sandy back in 2012. And as you can see, it is a ton of rain here along Stiegel Street. Now, a lot of people may be in the same situation as they wake up this morning. We're seeing a lot of people waking up this morning here in Manheim Borough and checking out the scene here in Lancaster County. But for now, I'll send things back to you in the studio. Reporting live, Kayla Schmidt, ABC 27 News.
And certainly that was from earlier this morning when we were on during daybreak, and you saw it play out there. Radar estimates over 6 inches of rain. That's what it can do, and we encourage you, of course, not to drive through that because it can be ugly and it can be life-threatening, of course. And for more of a recap on this, let me pull up our friends here. I want to go to the NWS State College Twitter page. They have a nice recap of some of the rain gauges across the region. So let's take this full screen as I scroll down here, and let's take a look at these 24-hour rainfall totals. Just impressive stuff. You might have a hard time seeing these numbers, but what a difference west of the river compared to east of the river. We're getting totals over 4 inches just south of Palmyra. Here's a total around just to the east of E-Town. Again, in that Manheim area of over 5 inches of rain, close to 6 inches of rain. So between 3 and 6 inches of rain falling right in here, of course, in Lancaster County. Here's a radar estimated view over the last 24 hours. And again, the yellows indicating here 6 to 8 inches of rain just south of Hershey, just to the south and east of E-Town. Again, in that same area where you saw Kayla Schmidt's report. This is a massive amount of rain. Just massive, especially for one 24-hour period. And lastly, I wanted to show you this tweet here from them because additional flooding is possible today. In fact, there is a moderate risk of more flash flooding for Adams, York, Lancaster, and southern Lebanon counties. It really extends across Baltimore, Philly, parts of Delaware into New Jersey, and it even clips a part of Franklin County as well. So this is a real concern going into this afternoon. It's the same type of atmosphere. It's the same type of environment that led to the flash flooding yesterday. And finally, I want to go back to their page here a second because this flash flood emergency that played out yesterday was incredible. It continued to just before 3 a.m. last night, and it's something that doesn't get issued often, but it was a life-threatening situation, and we always talk about it. Seek higher ground and turn around, don't drown. I realize it sounds corny, but it's so important because you saw the gentleman there in Manheim say thigh-deep water. Right, and that's exactly what it was as he was trying to navigate his way home. So a rough night for so many across portions of northern Lancaster County. Let's get back to today's weather. Again, the sun is out for now, but that's only going to help to destabilize things. So Lancaster gets a break. It's nice to see, but unfortunately, it's not going to be a long break. More showers already moving through the western part of the region, through Harrisburg. And guess what? We already have some development back here over the mountains, and so we're watching this closely as we do anticipate more rain. Now, this is just since midnight. This came from that complex. We've got Fawn Grove at about 4/10 of an inch, just over a third of an inch in Lancaster, and then Mechanicsburg getting about a third of an inch. That's followed by Lititz at just over a tenth of an inch. But we will add more to this today, and unfortunately that could mean more flash flooding. Baltimore and D.C. did not drop out of the 80s last night. You talk about a tropical environment. This is it. Yeah, it is massively humid. Dew points in the 70s, likely peaking in the mid-70s later. All this water has to go somewhere, friends, and it will later. We had a record rainfall at the airport yesterday, 1.48 inches of rain right here. You can see it. So pretty impressive stuff. Not hard to believe given the setup and given what we saw. We had a high of 90 yesterday. I think it will be a little bit cooler today. Speaking of Manheim, here's Manheim Central. The sun out, mid to upper 80s this afternoon, but that humidity will continue to feed storms. And it's really the same environment. We had a warm front lift through yesterday. That was the trigger. Now today we're going to get the cold front, and you can see that front right here, and that's going to act as a trigger and interact with the humidity today and make it stormy again. And in fact, because of that cold front, I expect a better chance of damaging wind gusts today in spots. And I do want to point out, this is the water vapor loop. You talk about a massive amount of water vapor. Look at the blob over south central Pennsylvania here that just moved right over top of our region yesterday. I mean, that is impressive. That's a massive amount of moisture, and it got dumped right over top of us, especially northern Lancaster and parts of southern Lebanon County. So when we zoom out, we can see the red line. That's where the front is. Out ahead of that front, it's the same type of environment. Humid, stormy, just ugly, and we do expect more of the same here today. So again, the severe weather risk today, which I think is a little bit higher than yesterday, believe it or not, includes damaging wind gusts for those areas: Lebanon, Lancaster, Southern Dauphin, York, Adams counties. And really, the question is here along the I-95 corridor, where does this boundary set up and feed the greatest amount of moisture? I think there's some questions with that, and so we're going to find out later today. There's also a flood watch posted through this evening for heavy rain and more thunderstorms in our southern and eastern counties. And even the National Weather Service admits there's some wiggle room here. Places like Franklin County didn't see much rain yesterday. They may be okay, but they're trying to give themselves some wiggle room because we just don't know where the boundary is going to set up. And when these boundaries set up, wherever it is, and wherever that heaviest rain falls, it's going to be highly localized. Just like last night, Manheim, over 6 inches of rain. E-Town had a lot of rain, 2 to 3 inches, but not that much. And so it's going to be very localized. But nonetheless, this flash flood watch continues for most of the southern and eastern part of the region. Now, you'll notice here in Precision Cast where the heaviest boundary sets up. And this is interesting to me. This is more of a Baltimore, Philly, New York type of boundary. We get some storms and some heavy rain, but notice we're on the northern edge of it. That's a good thing if this model comes true, because it's especially for areas that got hit yesterday, they will miss out. Now, the storms keep going, and there will be some activity west of the river, but the worst of it, again, continues to be south and east of us, across Delmarva and Jersey, according to this model, though. So let's hope that that pans out. Then we look ahead, there's going to be some more lingering downpours tonight, even into early Wednesday morning. So we cannot shake this. I think tomorrow's going to start cloudy and murky, And then as we head into the rest of Wednesday afternoon, things should improve. Thursday looks nice. It's not going to be as humid, but there is a weak trough. I mentioned yesterday, if you watched, that there might be a passing shower. I didn't add it into the forecast. I did today. I think there's enough energy for a passing shower, not like what we're seeing yesterday and today. This is interesting on Precision Cast, too, because you'll notice, again, where's the heaviest axis of rain? It is to our south and east. Still, Lancaster projected to get close to an inch, but this would be a good thing if that boundary sets up where Precision Cast thinks that it will. And I want to go to some models now. I told you this was going to be a deep dive, and so I want to take you through some of the latest model guidance here, and we're going to pull up the NAM 3K to start. And this model is going to show exactly where this boundary sets up later today. So we'll walk you through this step by step, and it already does show, though, this is a problem. Here is 20Z, which is during the mid to late afternoon, and notice again, and I will make this full screen for you. Hold on a second. Let's go to this. Notice where that boundary is setting up, and it is in the same areas, northern Lancaster County, extending back to some of our western counties. This would be bad news if the axis sets up over top of us. Now, eventually it does sink farther to the south and east, and I do think these storms today will be more progressive. We will get some more rain overnight, but I do think there's going to be a period of time where we see the rain and that it exits rather quickly. Let's see if this shows anything on Thursday, and it does across northern Pennsylvania, but let's focus back on this here. This clearly shows by mid-afternoon a line of pretty intense storms moving through the region, and it does show that even more so than our Precision Cast did. I want to go now to the the HRRR, which is another high-resolution model, and let's see what this model suggests happens. I'll get it right on the screen here if you bear with me. But this is important, too, because this takes in other data, and it also shows, unfortunately, that a lot of the moisture is over those same areas, and it's at that same time, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Notice where it's located, friends. Right over York, parts of Lancaster, southern Dauphin counties, and this is where the flash flood watch is, and then it eventually moves east by tonight, but there is a secondary piece here that could come in overnight. So again, I'm a little bit concerned for those areas that got the rain yesterday, that they could see it again today. So let's go back now to our Precision Cast, and while this has the right idea in terms of rain and the heavy rain, I'm concerned that this may get shifted a little bit to the northwest, and if it does, then parts of our region are going to get nailed here with some very heavy rain later today. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s later, and it's going to be very, very humid. We stay in the 70s tonight. I don't think that disappears. And then looking ahead to tomorrow, temperatures about the same. In the mid-80s, I think Precision Cast is almost a little too warm, but the humidity is going to be dropping off throughout the day, so that's good news. Again, I think Thursday could feature a brief passing shower. The 4th of July looks like the best day. We're going to be clear. We're going to be quiet for fireworks. It's going to be awesome. Saturday and Sunday look good. And then by next week, we get another heat wave. And notice what we have here again, more ring of fire convection right here that could drop southward and start to affect us Monday and Tuesday of next week with more storms. So that's going to be something we're watching. We get a drop in dew points tomorrow and Thursday. We get a secondary drop Friday. I just think the 4th of July is going to be awesome. So hang in there. I know it hasn't been easy yesterday. It's not going to be easy today, but I think July 4th looks great. And then looky here, the humidity comes back next week as we get set for another heat wave. So less humid by Wednesday afternoon and evening. A stray shower Thursday, but I think most of us stay dry, and then dry and comfy Friday. I tell you, if you're going to see any fireworks, whether it's at the Senators game, a lot of ballparks are doing this. A lot of people across the region, communities have fireworks. It looks good, sunny and quiet, 82 degrees at 7 o'clock, and then pleasant by 9 when most communities are going to be shooting off those firecrackers. So scattered thunderstorms again today, especially in our southeastern counties. 70 tonight, lingering downpours, still humid, and here are the next 7 days of your life. Let's take that full screen for a second. We do anticipate it to become mostly sunny and less humid. I don't think we're going to wake up to that. I expect clouds and murky conditions tomorrow morning, and then eventually it turns much nicer. Thursday looks good, maybe a passing shower, mostly sunny, very comfortable on Friday, and then the weekend looks hot again with the humidity starting to build in by Sunday. So that's a wrap. I really wanted to take you through what we experienced yesterday, what we think is going to happen today, if you are in those affected areas like northern Lancaster, southern Lebanon, eastern Dauphin, central York County, and you lived through the flash flooding yesterday, please prepare now for today because I think it could happen again. We will be monitoring this. There could also be the threat for damaging wind gusts later today as well. So another severe day is certainly possible across south central Pennsylvania, and we will be tracking it for you. For now, this is Beyond the Forecast. I'm meteorologist Brett Thakara.